And so God did what he always does. Bobby Clinton says that every vocational minister will experience multiple times where they have those boundaries, those in-between times where you're taken out of ministry fruitfulness and you're profoundly uncomfortable and destabilized.
So we live with this American success idea, even in ministry, that it should be victory on top of victory and win on top of win. And so the analogy of climbing a mountain seems right. We're pursuing the summit where there's maximum effectiveness and maximum influence and reputation and all the good, quote-unquote, good stuff. And yet, Kirk just said, and we've experienced these low spots in our journey, these valleys feel like the shadow of death, you know, death to ourselves, death to our dreams, death to the vision, whatever. And it's fascinating looking backwards and seeing enough other Christian leaders go through these downturns, seasons of barrenness or loss of fruitfulness, how God is significantly at work in the valley, because it's the soil of our souls that has to be reconditioned because we're depleted. And
it's a great analogy.
It's really strong. It's not about I need nutrients.
Right.
I need the ground to rest.
You got it. Turn it. It's got to be turned over and let it fallow.
Yeah. And only God can attend to soil. And what's fascinating about the economy of God in the lives of leaders we know and our own stories is that God, over in time, when he's ready, we can't hurry up the transition to the next ministry assignment. We want to. It's counterintuitive, but we ask and invite leaders all the time, let's ask God to slow this down. And they're like, what? Heck no. Please no, God.
Right.
But why would we want to slow it down? So we can get the full maximum benefit of all God's trying to do in us in the valley. So we attach meaning to the valley as being the very place, the laboratory, the way God goes to work. It's Jeremiah saying, does not the potter have the right to take the clay and put it back on the
wheel, bro? Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about.
And I can't speak for everybody, but I just know how many times I've said, I'm going to avoid that. I'm going to be the best possible Christian, leader, person, whatever.
Glory to glory.
In order to avoid those things, and thus not being dependent.
Well, we're so afraid to suffer. You know, I mean, John, think about what you and Anna have been through.
Oh, yeah.
I'm over here
right
near panic because I am thinking about it. And I actually have been recently just thinking to myself, I feel like I'm just at the end of my rope.
Yeah.
Like I just have no more to give. I just feel so exhausted by this stretching that life has thrown at me outside of ministry.
Correct. Unrelated.
And I feel so exhausted that I just feel like I'm ready to give up for a little while. And I am realizing that's because I'm not doing the stuff that you guys are talking about right now. And, you know, I'm realizing that I have been trying to do the right thing more often because I know I'm supposed to for a variety of reasons. Right. And I think in just my exhaustion, I've just forgot the better thing is just to be with God rather than to do the right thing. It's back to that Mary and Martha example you gave in the last session.
Yeah, right.
I think I've just been Marthaing my way around the kitchen.
Exactly.
I don't know what I'm doing. No wonder I feel exhausted.
And I got angry about it all. Not everybody does, but I did.
Did you get angry?
I felt pretty
I got
upset
depressed
last week.
I got depressed.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I didn't recognize the symptoms of depression. And it was mild, but I was trying to compensate for what wasn't working, what didn't feel right. the loneliness of being in an awkward liminal space. And I needed help, but I didn't know where to go to get it. Maybe I could say how it happened to me back at the time. I'm in a conference. I had just made the biggest transition career move of my entire adult life. I'm 46 and I'm at a conference with missionaries, and it's my first experience in this new ministry, and we're in worship, and I hear the Spirit of God say to me, I love you, David, and I want you to embrace my love. And it was so awkward because I knew the Greek words for love.
Yeah.
I knew 1 Corinthians 13, and I'm thinking, why is that the message? And what I didn't know in that moment was God loved me too much to allow me to keep leading the way I had been leading. And this movement into the ministry of that we have now and have been doing for 20 years was to reset the default so that this way of being would become core. And so I'm trying to encourage everyone, but particularly younger leaders, to let God love them well, even in times of misery, suffering, discouragement. And what does that look like? It looks a lot like Nick surrendering and submitting, saying, I can't control this. I mean, how freeing to say, I'm not in charge of my own development spiritually. I can cooperate and participate with the Spirit, but the Spirit is trying to move us and get us places.